But I love that you guys dropped in the chat what your favorite part about Go Live is. I see Alex in here. Let me shout y'all out real quick. I see y'all on the call. Albert's on here, Dustin, of course, Alex. We got Bob in the house. We got Crystal on the line. Eric, I see you. Jake with your camera on. Let's go. I see Lorenzo. We got Sam in the house. We got Tony, and we got Troy. Let's go. Let's go. Guys, let me shout y'all in the chat. Marvel moment is Alex's favorite, and being able to ask questions, amazing. Dustin says, awesome educators. Jake, being able to get the educator's point of view in the market other than my own. Amazing. Eric says crypto education. Awesome. Awesome. So guys, listen, the purpose of this call, okay, maximize your membership. It was something that we've always kind of talked about, but really wanting to put it into play, really wanting to bring this concept, this idea to life, and to really help you. Like the whole purpose of tonight's call is to help you make the most of your investment. You're putting up your hard-earned money every single month, making the investment back into yourself. We want to leverage these calls every other week so that you are on track. You're staying on track. Maybe this is a reminder for you. Maybe these calls are a reset for you. Maybe these calls are to help reignite what you already have going, the consistency, the focus that you already have. But we want to make sure that you're making the most of your access, of your investment. We want to ensure that you're on track. It's so easy to fall off. It's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to, become susceptible to temptation and, what this world, the shiny objects, whatever it is. We want to keep you on track and focused. And last but not least, we want to position you for success. Everybody is here for a reason. You came in here to get something out of this. And I want it to be more than just money. We're all here to increase our income in some way, shape, or form. But I want us to think bigger. I want us to dig deeper, and I really want us to focus on the character, the qualities, the process. Be process oriented, because I believe if at the end of the day your income is never going to surpass your mindset. If you can focus on the right things, then the results that you're looking for will come. And if you haven't dropped already, let's do this. Drop what educator, who is your educator that you're plugging into, that you're plugging in with right now? Who's your top guy or gal? Who have you guys been plugging into recently? Albert, Brandon Boyd, Josh Lee, Jake J. Awal, Tony, Camille J. Awal, Alex Cobain, PK, Jordan, Dustin, Tyrone Foster, Sci-Fi, amazing, Eric Cobain, Crystal, Cobain, and Mike J. Awal, amazing. Troy J. Awal, amazing, amazing. I love all those guys, man. I'm tuning into Mike Navarrete, Cobain, you name it. Rocky. Oh yeah, Brandon, Josh Lee, let's go. Awesome, guys. Well, just so everybody knows, and if you have new people that are not on this call, this is going to be a really, really powerful. It's going to be powerful for everybody, but it's going to be really powerful for them in particular, because you're going to really get the right expectations of how to maximize what they just got introduced to. There's a lot going on. Sometimes it can be intimidating. Sometimes it can seem a little overwhelming. But when you have the right track to run on, a lot of great things can happen when you just know the steps that you need to take next. So last time we jumped on this call, I shared with you guys the 4 phases that you're going to go through in your trading and investing journey here, learning these skill sets. Phase number 1 is you really just completing the basics. You want to make sure you finish those modules. You go through the Academy Basics videos. Most importantly, hopefully you've set up your demo account. Make sure you knock that out. You're connected with the apps. Let me actually share my screen. I'll show you guys this. For those that have not seen this yet, phase 1, and drop in the chat maybe where you are at right now. Phase 1 right here, finish those basics, get your demo account set up, make sure that you're connected to the apps, so you get your notifications for the alerts, the trade ideas, the investment ideas. You want to make sure that you are watching a strategy bootcamp with an educator. So that is phase 1. You're going to transition into phase 2. Most people can do this within their first 2 weeks or less. You transition into phase 2. In phase 2, you're scheduling out your Go Live weekly sessions. You're watching your educator, you're learning, you're applying the strategy. And your first really big milestone is to take your first 50 winning trades. And we talked about this last week. If you listen to any of the educators, they talk about this as well. But a winning trade is not you blowing your account. It's not you risking 50%, not over leveraging. A winning trade is a small win, break even, small win, break even, small win, big win. Okay. Those are winning trades. Even a loss can be considered a winning trade because you follow your plan. So that is your first big milestone on phase 2. It's knocking out those trades on a demo account. Phase 3, you're following, you're starting to catch your groove. You understand how to read price action on the charts. You're following your trading strategy, you're reviewing your trades, and you're making that transition from a demo to a live account. Okay, you're making that transition to a demo to a live account, and you're making your first withdrawal. And that's really your next big milestone in phase 3. And then phase 4 is kind of this ongoing, continuous phase that you're in. You're leveraging Go Live. You're using the tools to compound your live account. You're following your plan, hitting your first 5K, 10K, 25K, and beyond. And this next part right here, I'm not going to go too much into detail on tonight's call, but you guys, for those that are aware, and this is really probably a small portion of you guys, but if you decide that you want to create additional income, you see the long-term vision, you see the value of what this has and how it can impact, and not only yourself but other people, you can go out and create residual income to the whole purpose is to fund your investments. You have disposable income to increase your cash flow and build wealth. So depending on wherever you guys are at, it doesn't matter. What matters is where you are, and what's coming next for you. You know where you're going. Okay, so that is the phases. You guys want to make sure that you are plugging in. And I will say this really quick, for those that use Swipecoin and Blaze, drop a 1 in the chat if you use either one, Swipecoin or Blaze. I've talked to so many different educators. I don't know if you guys have seen, they have a feedback button in Go Live. I'm constantly leaving feedback. I'm sharing what is amazing, what is awesome, what I want to keep seeing, and also some things that I think would be helpful. Things that, if they did it like this, and obviously they're not going to take every piece of feedback. I get it, but it's our job, it's our opportunity as customers, as members, that we can voice what we want to see more of, and that's what that feedback is for. And so I've talked to a lot of different educators across the board, both sides, and I've asked what's kind of the best strategy for the newest person that's jumping into using these apps. Number 1, if you're using Swipecoin or Blaze, pick an educator. That's number 1. And choose the same entry, the same exit. The stop losses, there's only one stop loss per trade, but choose the same entry, same exit for every trade that you take. And obviously same risk management, okay? If you're just starting off, you're brand new, you're gonna learn risk management as you go. But in the beginning, it's very important that you stay super consistent with one thing. And the reason why is because of risk to reward, which you will learn on Go Live. But it allows you to stack wins if you're using those apps. Preferably taking the first entry and the first exit. It's an easy win when the trades go, and you just want to be able to stack wins and become familiar with the app. The other thing I want to share with you guys, in case you don't know, and maybe this is a reminder for those that are on demo, or maybe you need to transition back to demo because of how your live account is going right now. The purpose of a demo account, you'll hear this from every single educator, Mike Nav, Jay Awa, Mike Sotero, Nancy, you name it. The purpose of a demo account is to build enough evidence that proves that your strategy, that your plan works. Okay, to build enough evidence that proves that your strategy and plan works, and it will prove how well you work your strategy. So not only proving that your strategy works, but how well you work your strategy. Okay, and you have to collect enough data. I know we say 50, but honestly, if you can you can make the pool larger for yourself, go to 100 trades. It's not about the time. It's once you get this, man, you've got this thing. You've got this thing. This is a skill set that nobody can take away from you. Okay, so once you get this down, and you've built enough data, you have enough pool of evidence that shows you, hey, this strategy works, and I follow it, I can work it well. It's going to be a very natural transition to your live account. Your confidence is going to come from following the plan. Your confidence is not going to come from the outcomes, because the outcomes are fleeting and you can't control the outcomes, especially in trading. Your confidence is going to come from following your plan. I am profitable. You will be profitable because you follow your plan well. Okay. And I want to explain to you guys, what does it mean? Not just this call, but an embodiment, a lifestyle of what it means to just max out. Ed Mylett, if you guys know who Ed Mylett is, he talks about maxing out, maximizing your membership. What does that mean? What does that look like? It means you take full advantage of what you have. I can tell you, over the last 7 years, I have squeezed every ounce of this academy that I possibly can so I can learn this skill set, so I can master myself when it comes to my risk management and understanding how to build wealth and create cash flow and multiply my trading account. I'm squeezing everything out that I possibly can. I'm showing up every day in and day out, no excuse. You don't make excuses. You show up, you commit, no matter what academy access you have, crypto, forex, hope, both, whatever it is, the skills and the mindset that you adopt here will change your life. Can and will change your life. There's literally no cap. Personally, financially, doesn't matter. Most of you, the toughest thing, if you're taking notes, write this down. Most of you, the toughest thing, and this is what it's been for me, and I'll be the first one to tell you, the toughest thing you're going to experience here for a lot of you is just believing that you can actually do it. Your belief a lot of times is what's going to keep you in the game. It's going to get you to come back tomorrow. The toughest thing about this is just believing that you actually can do this. Okay. So 3 ways, I'm going to break this down. 3 ways to know that you are making the most of your access, and know, number 1, that you will get what you came here for. You all came here to get something, not just hopefully money, but to develop yourself to become somebody different, a better version, a higher version, elevated version of yourself. So 3 ways to know that you're making the most of your investment. Number 1, you're coachable and teachable. Number 1, you're coachable and you're teachable. What does that mean? It's your willingness to learn and your willingness to change. How often are we given the plan, but then go off and do our own thing? We're given a strategy. We're given somebody to follow. And then after 2 weeks, after a month, even after 2 months, 3 months, it doesn't work. Show me your log of trades. Show me your log of trades. Show me. I wish Go Live could show, like, I have this app, Duolingo. I'm learning Spanish, and it tracks my basically how many days I show up consecutively. And I'm on like day 540 something, 43. I think tonight's day 543 that I've consecutively plugged in and used Duolingo. I wish Go Live had something like that showed your streak. How many off days do you give yourself? How often do you not show up because something happens? And I want to keep it real tonight. I want to empower you, but I also want to challenge you in some of the ways that maybe we show up and we operate. Because a lot of times, if I'm by myself, and maybe you guys can maybe relate to this, I am so much more susceptible to my own excuses than if I were in accountability, if I were in a group setting, if I were around other people that hold my feet to the fire. Let me keep on track here. So how often are we given a plan, but we go off and do our own thing? Do we deviate? Do we compromise? Right? No compromises, no deviation. I plug in every day, but I don't implement. I consume all the sessions, but I don't implement anything. I take so many trades, but I don't take time to review. Our willingness to learn and change. We could have a willingness of to learn of 10, but a willingness to change of 0. 10 times 0 is still 0. So we've got to make sure that we are coachable and teachable. That's number 1. Number 2 is a burning desire. You cannot teach burning desire. You cannot motivate somebody to have a burning desire. It's caught, man. You've got to have it. You've got to want it. You've got to be here. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. You've got to have that desire. You're either doing this out of inspiration or out of desperation, but it's got to be a strong reason. Your reasons have got to be stronger than your situation. Whatever you're going through right now, your reason has to be stronger than your situation. Otherwise, you'll quit. Otherwise, you'll throw in the towel. We don't throw in the towel around here. We use that towel to wipe the sweat off. We keep pushing. We keep moving forward. That's number 2. Number 3 is thick skin. Thick skin, man. Perseverance. Endure through the discomfort, through the hard times. You can't just let anything take you out. Even if it's tough, even if it's hard, it's just going to give you proof that even this didn't stop you. Tough times don't last. Y'all know the rest. Tough people do, right? So 3 things. I know I'm kind of bunching through this, but there's a lot of perspective that I want to give you to maximize what you have here, the right mindset, the right perspective, and all of this, guys. I have adopted and learned majority of this just from plugging in, just from years of just being in the mix, all on Go Live, all on Go Live, all on Go Live. So 3 things you must be able to do. Okay. You have 3. These are really 3 qualities, 3 characteristics, 3 traits: coachable, teachable, burning desire, thick skin. You've got to have those things. You're not going to make it if you don't have those things. If you don't have them, you've got to develop them. and you can develop them. Just because you don't have it doesn't mean you can't learn how to have it, how to be better. But these next three things that I want to share with you are things that you must be implementing. Okay, things that you can actively be doing right now. You should already be doing right now. Number one is you have to know your goals and you have to have a schedule. Number one is you have to have goals and you have to have a schedule, a clear goal. Okay, it's got to be clear, it's got to be specific. And it's got to, most importantly, it's got to mean something to you, man. It's got to mean something to you. You've got to have a healthy amount of delusion. I'm going to say this right now because this is important. There's this double-edged sword here. You've got to have a healthy amount of delusion that this thing is going to work, because trading is stacked against you. I'm going to tell you right now, trading is not like it, the markets are not designed for us to win. But if you follow the system, you can win, because it's not because of you that's going to win. It's because if you follow the system. I'll explain what I mean by that in just a second. But you've got to have a healthy amount of delusion. The odds that you're thinking, the odds are stacked forever in my favor. You've got that unshakable belief. You have faith, unwavering faith in God, because he's the one at the end of the day that's providing the harvest. He's providing you the results. Have I matched my character? Have I gotten to where I need to be at quality wise? And also you know, there's the double-edged sword of this is you have this kind of delusion around, you know, what's possible, which is important. Big, you're thinking big, you're believing big, but you also have to take it down to the day-to-day. Not this big grandiose picture, but the day-to-day. You also must be diligent and practical about your daily routine. Okay. In the beginning, you have to treat this. I hate to say it, but I told this to somebody the other day. You have to treat this like a job. And I think it was Kurt Cobain on one of his sessions he did the last couple of weeks. He talked about this. In the beginning, you have to treat this like a job. Most of us that get introduced to this, we are not thinking, we're thinking like an employee, okay? And that's the best analogy that I can share with you, because what happens when we treat something like a job? In this sense, we clock in. We probably clock in hopefully on time. We follow a schedule. We show up day in and day out. Maybe we even put in some overtime, okay? Our alarm goes off. We get up just enough time to get to work on time. But for ourselves, we question and justify if we're going to get up to clock in to get better. So there's a weird relationship that we have with our 9 to 5 that will show up no matter what, is what I'm trying to say. And that's how we have to treat this in the beginning, especially if this is your first time doing something maybe outside of a career, a job, 9 to 5 format. So that's number one, is you've got to have clear goals. You got to set a clear schedule to follow, and you've got to follow that thing. I know that they always say, you know, show me your calendar and I'll show you your future, whatever it is. But I beg to, you know, that's important, but are you even following your schedule? You've got to follow your schedule. You got to treat this differently. Number two is finding accountability. How many of y'all know how important accountability is? Accountability is so important, man. And a lot of times, I was just talking to Alex the other day about like having a personal trainer. I said, I would only want a personal trainer to hold me accountable. Like I know what I need to eat. You know, whatever the case is, workouts, that'd be nice. But I would mostly want somebody for personal training because I need accountability. Check in with me every single week. Are you on track? Did you hit your, you know, your macros, your caloric, whatever, right? All those questions. I would want somebody to hold me accountable. And so accountability is I honestly believe accountability is the difference between you, where you are, and you making it to where you want to go. The whole purpose of and power of community is accountability and encouragement. And if you're a part of the team, find an opportunity for yourself to immerse in that inside of the support that we have, in ways that maybe you can be held accountable because you need to put your foot to the fire, or you can offer encouragement or accountability. Because it is so easy, drop a 2 if y'all can agree with this, it is so easy to make excuses to justify when you're isolated, when you're alone, when you're in your head, when you've just been kicked and beaten around so many times, and now you're starting to get discouraged, you're starting to feel a little defeated, your heart's starting to get a little bitter, and things are just not going well. You got to find a running mate. Look at everybody on this call, find somebody in the chat. You have to find a running mate. And I'll give you a quick story. I remember it was a couple years ago, Tony, you might remember this. when Tony went Platinum 1000 and Tony was just on his thing, man. I'm talking about the business right now, but you can do this with trading as well. Whatever it is, Tony was like about it. And I was fired up because Tony was getting results. And at that time, there was a lot of things going on. And because I saw him running, I was like, he doesn't know this, but I'm latching on to his energy. And I ran with him. And everybody was popping ranks at that time. And so you got to find, my point in saying that is you got to find a running mate. You got to find somebody to hold you to the fire, somebody that you can grind with. Make sure this person is just as hungry as you. You have blind spots. They have blind spots. You can't see what you can't see. You don't know what you don't know. And that accountability, whether good or bad times, is going to keep you in check when you're up. They're going to encourage you when you're down. You've got to find some sort of accountability here. And it's not just with maybe another person. It's also inside of Go Live. It's also just in the support alone. Hey, I'm clocking in. I saw some of you guys posting in the chat. I think it was Marin on there. Jake was posting. I saw Dustin this morning. I'm clocking in. I'm clocking in. I'm clocking in, man. I'm clocking into my session. Commitment, write this down. Commitment lasts longer in community. Your unfair advantage is the fact that you have a community. You have an opportunity to have an accountability partner. And also, side note, participation. If you don't know already, participation is very important. When you participate, you are consciously and then subconsciously programming yourself to be the right person. You retain what you engage with. You become what you engage with, what you immerse yourself in. You are more likely to remember and retain what you repeat. You're participating. Y'all receive, Jay Awal does it really well in the chat. Mike Sotero does it really well in the chat. Drop this word, drop this word. Some people are going to find it annoying and a burden. Other people are going to be becoming the right person because they're participating in the action, in the work, in the idea, in the concept, what you see, what you do, what you hear. That's what you become. Okay, I'm going on a tangent. That was number 2, find accountability. Number 3 is learn to deal with setbacks. I saw this quote earlier and it was talking about sports. And the guy said, the best thing, he was talking about kid athletes, but he said the best thing that we can do for kids, I'm talking about us right now, instead of teaching them how to always be successful, teach them how to respond when they're not successful. I thought that was so powerful because we're so focused on I've got to win, and we feel some type of way when we're wrong, especially the conditioning in school. And we don't ever learn how to deal with hardship, with setbacks. Look, the journey, you just got to be okay with it being hard. I think the faster we can accept and acknowledge that, man, we're gonna take off. The journey, you gotta just be okay with it being hard. There's no shortcut. The mentorship, what we have here, this is the shortcut. You are the investment. You are the asset. Are you appreciating or depreciating? You get to decide based on what you listen to, what you consume, and what you do every single day. Okay. If you throw in the towel every time things get tough, you never give yourself the chance to actually grow. Okay. Excuses. I know we all know this, but excuses today, excuses make today easier and tomorrow harder. Discipline makes today harder and tomorrow easier. And I hope that you guys choose discipline. I hope that that is at the forefront, because being successful comes down to doing the things that you literally don't want to do. And I heard this from Ryan Serhant. You guys know him. He's a real estate agent. And he said, entrepreneurship is the hardest thing that you'll ever do. You guys are on this call and it's like, I didn't know it was going to be like this conversation. I'm just trying to keep it real. But he said, entrepreneurship is the hardest thing you'll ever do, but you're only allowed to quit on your best day. I love that, man. Entrepreneurship is the hardest thing you'll ever do, but you're only allowed to quit on your best day, because it's easy to quit when the going gets tough. Write this down. Your new life is going to cost you your old one. The new one is going to come with trials and tribulations. The new one's going to come with new responsibilities, new levels of accountability. Especially if you want to be a leader, you got to communicate. You have got to communicate. You've got to step up. New levels of accountability, new focus, a new heart, a change of heart, man, a renewed mind, new choices. You're going to be the most uncomfortable in the beginning of your new life than you've ever been in your life, period. But the pain will soon go away. The pain will be used for purpose, but you've got to accept these things, because if you don't accept them, you're never going to get through them. You're not going around it, you're going through it. So I know I shared this with you guys already, but to some degree, we're all here to make more money. But I remember Jason Brown, you guys know who Jason is, but Jason Brown said the financial wagon is oftentimes always the last wagon to show up. And we're not taught to, kind of think like this. And I know in the beginning, ironically, I said to treat this like a job in the beginning, and you have to, because if you don't, you're not going to show up. You're gonna treat this like a hobby, and hobbies don't you don't get paid from hobbies. It actually is expensive, and if you look at this like an expense, you're definitely not going to be here in 90 days. Okay, we were not taught to think like an investor, to think like a CEO. We were taught to think like an employee. So when we train ourselves to think like an entrepreneur, we also position ourselves to reap like one too. Okay. And the last couple things I'll share with you is the academy is going to educate you, it's going to empower you, it's going to equip you to think and operate like a wealthy person. But you can't expect to get there overnight, let alone 90 days. Especially if you've spent your whole life thinking like an employee. I want this amount of results and success in this amount of time, yet you've been thinking and believing for decades of your life one way, and we expect that things are going to change in our first 3 6 months. Not going to happen. That transformation that you're looking for, it's not results, it's transformation. That's going to take place through repetition. Can you outlast your process? Can you outlast the current version of you so that you can become the renewed version of you? We become what we think. Galatians 6:9, one of my favorite scriptures, it says, let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So I wanted to share this perspective with you guys. I hope that it was helpful. Dustin, let me see. Are you able to speak, my guy? Let's try it.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, bro. Go for it.
Okay. Okay. I don't know about everybody else, but I am super excited to be here in 2024. I know where this can take me. I know that where this can take all of us because I have a vision that's going out like, 5, 10 years into the future for what this can be. So, some things that I love about the academy is the personal development aspect. I've always sought out personal development, but there's a whole different level to just looking up the information and then implementing the information. And so that's just a thing that I love about the academy. The mindset courses, I actually upgraded to get the empowered pack so I could do crypto and the forex side because I was here in 2022. I've been kind of on and off and Ender, please. I've been kind of Ender, please. I've been sorry. I've been kind of on and off since I started and I know Ender, please. We're not even cooking that yet. Okay, sorry. I'm plugging into Tyrone Foster as well on sci-fi, and I do that. I work a full-time job. I do that. I take care of my son. It's real around here. He's always bouncing around in and out of conversation, so it's something that I got to deal with right now. I love the confidence that you get from being around like driven-minded people. I love that. I love that you really like some of us we'll sit back and we'll do like almost what the bare minimum is, and then the leaders come in from behind and they're like, no, there is a way and a system and a strategy to follow, a correct way to do this. You can be here and waste your time, and I don't want anyone to do that. I've done that in the past. I'm excited because I see what is possible, especially on the crypto side. I had to get part of Swipe Coin again. I realized just doing Forex, I lost access to that side. So getting access to Swipe Coin for not only leverage trades, but more for the DCA side of things. I'm super excited to see what's coming. We've been seeing a lot of crypto go on sale. and I was part of this before where I saw it all go on sale. Bitcoin 25K, Ethereum was under 2000. Like there was a bunch of opportunity that I couldn't take part of, but now I'm setting myself up. I got myself a better job, a better income, a way to where I can invest and pay myself. My first day, I put that straight away to the side, and I've been investing that into crypto at whatever Mike Sotero has recommended to us, because you got to trust the educators, and it's up to you to take that risk. But I really do see a lot of greatness for all of us. I see a vision. I see us dreaming big. I see us all pushing each other to victory. So I'm just grateful to be part of this thing. So thank you for the time. Yeah.
Dustin, bro, I appreciate you, man. Guys, can we drop some sevens in the chat? Show some love to Dustin. Bro, your story is so powerful. And I know just even the last few months, our conversations together, and the things that you've been going through and persevering through is honestly incredible. To know that you are still here, bro. You keep showing up.
You might as well call me perseverance, because I'm gonna be here to the end. I'm gonna drag myself through. So, all
Let's
right.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Nah, dude, you set a great example on if people really knew some of the things that we all go through, right? They're like people don't
Yeah.
know behind the scenes half the time what each other's going through. And I know we don't need
Mm,
to disclose all the details and information. But at the end of the day, just know everybody on this call, you don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to go through things alone. I mean, it's already difficult enough when it comes to trading and you're in the process of transitioning your mindset from employee to, business owner, investor, trader, things like that. You're going through those mental, emotional battles, but to add a personal life on top of that, you don't have to do this by yourself, and you were never meant to, and you can be in community and grow through the things together. So Dustin, I appreciate you, bro, for sharing that, for coming on here. Guys, I had a whole other thing I was going to share with you on 8 trading and investing principles. I'm going to stop the recording if you'd like to stay. These are principles that have helped me grow my trading account and actually be profitable and use those funds to invest into my portfolio and have an incredible portfolio. And I'd love to share some of these principles with you guys that I've pulled from Go Live. So if you would like to stay on, I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, don't end meeting. Let me do this.